Hey everyone, I'm Trevor and you're watching SoCal Disney Dad, and today we are at the San Diego Zoo and we are going to tour the entire zoo for you. We're going to show you everything that's here, animals, shows, rides, food places, absolutely everything. There's going to be tips along the way to help you have the best visit to the San Diego Zoo possible. So let's get going. Right out here is the ticket booths. You can purchase tickets online and that's recommended, but if you didn't, the zoo is still one place where you can purchase tickets right here at the ticket booths. After you get through the ticket booths, there is a map kiosk right here in the center. Go ahead and grab yourself a map. The zoo is huge. Believe me, you will want that map. Right over there is the entrance, and I just wanted to point out something for you right here at the beginning. This is the Front Street stroller and wheelchair rental. A single stroller is $14, double stroller is $18, wheelchair is $14, and an electric scooter is $55. These are available on a first-come, first-served basis, so when they're gone, they're gone. If you need one, try to get here earlier in the morning. We're actually going to head the other direction now. We're turning right from the entrance. You're going to be immediately greeted by the sandwich company. This place actually has really decent sandwiches. I would highly recommend going there if you want like some deli-type sandwiches. A plaza cart right here just for some snacks, popcorn, those sorts of things. But I do want to point out that the bus tour is over there off to the left. Now you have to go back. Well, we'll show it to you later how to get there. The bus tour is about a 40-minute tour. It takes you all the way around the outside of the zoo. As you see, it is a two-decker bus, so you can go on the upper level and the lower level. Right across from that bus tour is the Terrace Lagoon. Now, usually we can go back there. I might be able to find footage for you about what is exactly back there. Vincent's Adventure Safari is back there today, but you can see that nice little bridge over there, and it's just an enjoyable area you can walk across. There's a waterfall in the background. There's nothing besides like koi fish in there, though. Look, it's the Whomping Willow from Harry Potter. There are any number of paths that you can take when you first come into the zoo. We took the path off to the right. If you go to the left, you're going to end up towards the new Wildlife Explorers Basecamp. And if you head straight from the entrance, you'll go down to the tigers first. But we're entering Australian Outback right now. Here we go, Conrad Preby's Australian Outback. Over here off to the left, we have a bunch of birds. The iconic Kookaburra is in here somewhere. There he is, the Kookaburra. Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree. And then over here off to our right is the Tasmanian devil. Oh, and there's actually a wombat too.
There's a wombat?
Yeah, that's what it says. I don't see him though. Right here is the Tasmanian devil exhibit, and there are two sides to see the Tasmanian devil. The other one that we just showed you, and then over here off to the right, I don't see him out in either exhibit here this morning, but we've seen him running around quite often. Here we have Sydney's Grill. Sydney's Grill is a place where you can get some burgers, your normal, theme park type food right here at Sydney's. And there's a stage in the back we'll show you in just a minute. Across from that is a gift shop, and this is like a Australian themed gift shop. You can find Australian animals as well as some other animals. As we head down this path, we're going towards the urban jungle area of the San Diego Zoo. Urban jungle is where you're going to see your giraffes, your rhinos, that sort of thing. And back here is that seating area for Sydney's Grill. They have lots and lots of tables back here, but what you're going to notice is that this green wall over here during special times of the year, they put up a stage here, and they have like acrobatics events and things like that that go on right here, and you can eat your meal while watching the show. It's a pretty great deal. The first animal in the urban jungle is the rhino. Sometimes he's up here in this exhibit. I don't see him at the moment, which means he's probably further back in his exhibit. But I see loads of giraffes out here eating for us, so we're gonna go check them out. And right over here off to the left, Urban Jungle Adventures. Now I know this doesn't look like a whole lot, but this is a place where you can sign up to feed the giraffes. Here's some more information on that giraffe feeding experience. This is Thursdays to Sundays, noon to 1 p.m. and tickets are on sale an hour beforehand right at that little booth that we just showed you. $15 for 3 giraffe feeding biscuits, up to 4 people per experience. Bit of a time jump forward here. It is 12 noon. I wanted you to see the line here for the giraffe feeding. This is all the people who have paid ahead of time and then come to do the giraffe feeding right at noon. They're all lined up. And in just a minute, they're going to end up back this direction feeding those giraffes.
Yeah, they're getting That was
Now is a great time to remind you that if you're enjoying this video and you find it helpful, to hit the like button. It really does help out the channel a lot, and it's a cheap, free, easy way for you to support the channel. Also, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. We visit all the Southern California theme parks and attractions. We go to the San Diego Zoo and Safari Park, SeaWorld San Diego, Legoland, Sesame Place, Disneyland, and so much more. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments. I answer absolutely every question on my channel. Always happy to help you have the best time whenever you're visiting San Diego. Right across from the giraffes is that rhino. He's walking away from us at the moment. So all we're gonna get to see is his butt. Right here is the zebra exhibit. They also have a miniature Mediterranean donkey in here as well. That donkey's back here. He's hiding behind this rock structure, so I'm not sure we're gonna get a good look at him. If we continue walking around here, we get to the greater flamingos. These guys are like the pinkest flamingos I've seen in a while. Wow, look at them. Where are you going?
They don't like it.
Where are you going? Flamingos have quite the personality. I think out of any bird that I've seen, these ones are big on personality. At this point, the path loops around. You're going right back towards the entrance of the urban jungle. It's not a large area, but there are some animals here that you want to make sure you don't miss. Speaking of things not to miss, check out this fence right here. The flamingos are right over there, and if you're not paying attention, you'll walk right by this fenced area, but the southern ground hornbill is in here. Very, very easy to miss him. I don't know how many times I've walked by him at the zoo, and I almost just bypassed him now, but since I'm showing you a tour of everything, we're gonna try to find the hidden things too. We're not gonna spend a whole lot of time zeroing in on a lot of these other animals, just because there are a lot of them, especially in this fenced up area here off to our left. Don't miss this area though. There's a binturong right over there and a fennec fox right over here. Off to our right here is the other end of that rhino exhibit. He doesn't appear to be over here now either. And then we swing to our left and the cheetahs are over here somewhere. He's right there. Check this out, there are actually some people there behind a fence wall getting like a up-close experience here with the cheetah. Of course, they're separated by a fence, but those people back there had VIP stickers on. I'm not quite sure how you go about getting a VIP experience. Maybe it's one of the tours. There is like a $600 tour here at the zoo, and it could be that. It's $600 per person, mind you. But it's like an all-inclusive, all-day, one-on-one guided tour. Next up is Conrad Preby's Australian Outback. Of course, we've been in the Outback, but we're going back to it. And this time we're gonna see the koalas. If you have the opportunity to see a koala when it is awake, take pictures, get some footage, because it's a rare sight. They sleep like 20 hours a day. But I think we're getting them at feeding time first thing here in the morning. Oh, look at that. They just brought up all his food. Before you exit the koala area, make sure that you check out this palm cockatoo. He's actually way up there. The koalas back there were the boys. Now we are passing by the girls. The girls are separated. These are the girl koalas over here. Leaving Australian Outback, we now enter Africa Rocks, one of the newer exhibits here at the San Diego Zoo. Over to the left, we have some baboons. Right now, we are just walking around the outside of the zoo. We're not going through the center. There's a lot of trails and pathways here. It'll get easily mixed around if you don't have a map. But if you stick to the outside, you can pretty much see most of the things and then swoop through the middle at the end. Here is that fork in the road. Turning left will take you down to Africa Rocks, but we're going up towards the right to go to Elephant Odyssey. The first exhibit is for a bachelor eagle. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry, I mispronounce things quite a lot. But he is currently off exhibit, but this is where you would see him if he was here. That is in the Kopje area of Africa Rocks. You'll quickly be greeted by another fork in the road. If you actually take the left path, you'll be able to see some more animals, and it does loop up with the right path. So I would recommend coming down this way. But then as we get over here to our right, we have the dwarf mongoose, the rock hyrax, They have a clip springer back in here as well. Various numbers of birds in this exhibit. And the star attraction being the serval over here. Now there's no people over here, which tells me he mustn't be super visible, because usually there's a load of people waiting to see this serval. I'll see if I can dig through some old footage and see him for you. Here's one of those bus tours, again, going along the outside edge of the park. You can see the upper deck people get a slightly better view, but they are in the sun, so take that for what you will. The meerkats usually hang out here. You can almost always see one on sentry duty, but I don't know. Carrying on past the meerkats, we're greeted by Elephant Odyssey. Now this is really, really cool. Something that is easy to miss if you're not paying attention. This right in front of us is a metal sculpture. We can see an elephant from this angle, but as we turn, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then as you keep going, it turns back into an elephant, which is really, really neat. There's a fun little kids play area through here as my kids are demonstrating there for you. To our right is a condor. And there's the condors up there. The guy flying around is just a raven. Where is he? There he is. In this building, even though we're not in the reptile house, you can find some snakes. If you look closely enough, they've got this large outdoor viewing area. And check this out. He's right up close to the glass today. That is real, folks. And I'm like 3 inches away from him. There's just a piece of glass separating me and him. This one, however, is not real. Hello, llamas. Is your name Cusco? Be careful if they spit. No, that's camels. Speaking of camels, there's one right there. Yet another play area. Again, my kids demonstrating for you how to use the play area. Of course, they do actually have a camel here, and it looks like it is chow time for him. But these camels are in the entrance to Elephant Odyssey if you're coming from the back direction. Speaking of elephants, literally right next to the camels are some elephants. Now there are like 3 or 4 different viewing locations for elephants in Elephant Odyssey, and if there are none in this one, just keep walking. You will eventually come across some elephants. But getting to see them play is really, really fun. Across from that first elephant viewing area is a gift shop. If we walk this direction, we're actually going to come to one of our eating areas here at the San Diego Zoo. The first one that we've seen actually deeper into the park. And this one is going to be the Sabertooth Mexican Grill. They do have lots and lots of seating out here. Of course, they also have a Sabertooth cat. But as the name would imply, they do have Mexican food here at the Mexican Grill. They've got a really, really great nachos that I highly recommend. Back here at the fork in the road, if you go that way towards Sabertooth, turning right, we continue on through Elephant Odyssey. And there's a different elephant than the one we saw before. We're gonna head down this path for right now. You can see some toads and some turtles, some lizards. If you look closely enough in this area, there's a turtle greeting us right there. Hello, Mr. Turtle. This path continues on down through the Denny Sanford San Diego Zoo Kids Theater. In the theater, they have this TV screen that gives you some educational information while you sit down, get off your feet for a minute. On the left path, as we leave that area, is some bugs. Dead leaf mantis, eastern lubber grasshopper. There's that eastern lubber grasshopper. You'll have to check out all these bugs. We're not going to look at every single one of them for you. All of these bugs right here behind me can also be found in the Wildlife Explorers Basecamp, which is the all-new, actually the newest area that they opened here at the San Diego Zoo about like a month ago. It's brand spanking new. You got to check it out if you haven't yet. Over to our right, we're going to see the secretary bird. Now this is one of my favorite birds at the San Diego Zoo. Look at him. To the left of the secretary bird are these giant paddocks for the elephants, and this is where they do all their health care, their cleaning. They put their feet like through the big open bars, and they're able to clean their toenails and examine their feet for any problems and that sort of thing. They wash them down in here. This is just where the care of the elephants takes place. You can't actually go through the care center. The path wraps around on the outside and only employees are allowed in this building. Here's a larger elephant exhibit, but I don't see any elephants out in it at the moment. As I mentioned, you'll either see them in one location or another. You're very unlikely to see elephants in absolutely every viewing area. Another thing that you don't want to miss here in Elephant Odyssey is the Baird's tapir. Now, a lot of the times that tapir is right up here next to this observation glass, but today he's way in the back. There is another area that we can see them on the other side of this building though, so let's go over here and see if we can see another one. This is the other side of the exhibit, and there is another tapir over here, but it is down under that ledge overhang, and you can't see him all that well. Next up across from that area is the Jaguar. Now, he is directly dead ahead. You can't see him, can you? And there we go. That Jaguar is almost always way in the back. Very hard to see. But if you take that bus tour, the lower level of the bus tour gets prime viewing position of him. We've now made it to the absolute front area of the Elephant Odyssey. This is their big water pool that they can come play in and get a bath in if they would like. The male lion can often be seen up here on top of this table asleep. And I usually see the female up on that platform, but today she is down on the ground. Like typical cats, they sleep a lot and they like high places. Our cats at home do the very same thing. These cats are no different, even though they're like 600 pounds apiece. Right here is a volunteer who tells you all about the elephants, and here are the tar pits. They have different displays here on the walls that tell you all about the different places that fossils are found here in California, like Anza Borrego Desert, inland valleys and deserts, and the La Brea tar pits, which are pictured behind us like what you would see at one of those tar pits. As we leave Elephant Odyssey, we come across the bridge, which is a little snack area. You can get some ice cream treats here, snow cones, things like that, drinks. They also have a small souvenir area. And they call it the bridge because the bridge is right here. This bridge is yet again a newer construction here at the San Diego Zoo. It's several years old at this point, but this bridge didn't used to exist. If the last time you were here was, say, 7 to 10 years ago, they built this bridge. They also built right that over there. That is an elevator that takes you from the lower portion of the San Diego Zoo up here to the upper portion. That is all new as well. So right there is the entrance to Elephant Odyssey and that bridge snack shop. Here's the bridge. We're not going to go down the bridge. We're actually going to swing this way. I often skip over this, but right here is a Pollinator Garden. Bees, butterflies, hummingbirds, and more. You may find these things interesting. I don't particularly, so like I said, we never come back here. And we see a bee pollinating, which is why it's the Pollinator Garden. Straight ahead is the station for the Skyfari here at the back end of the park. You can only do one way on the Skyfari. So if you take the Skyfari, you have to get back in line if you want to go the other direction. It doesn't just loop around for you. Before we continue talking about the Skyfari, I want to bring up to your attention Mowgli's 4D Jungle Adventure, which is going to be right up here off to the left. Mowgli's 4D Adventure opens at 10:30 a.m. and is a 10-minute video that costs $7 a person. It is a 4D theater, which means that they will shoot water at you and things like that to add in the fourth dimension. Across from Mowgli's is a mountain lion display, but I can't see him anywhere in there. So we're going to continue on here. This is something that is very easily missed if you do not look closely. Actually, down here between the main road and this path where the Skyfari is exiting is an anteater. There he is. He's going back and forth. He's like under that bridge at the moment. The Skyfari here is sponsored by Alaska Airlines, and there is no cost to ride the Skyfari. If you have entrance to the park, you can ride that without any additional cost. The zoo is built on the side of a hill, and you will do lots of up and down walking if you want to see absolutely everything that there is to see. To the left is a Chacoan peccary. And we're not going to be able to look at all of these animals, or this video would be really long, but I'm just going to point out what animals there are down this path. We actually see the native Kubota over here. Then we come to this fun little notch that you see people going in. This is a little bit of an overlook that gives you a nicer view of this exhibit. And there are lots and lots of different animals in here. And it's a big, wide open exhibit as well. To the right of this path is Conrad Preeby's Polar Bear Plunge. They have an indoor viewing area here for the polar bears, but I almost never see polar bears in here. I can actually see one at the moment. It's backlit for you guys. Let's see if we can get a better view of him. We actually had to backtrack here just a little bit because there's that entrance that we took to go inside, but I didn't want you to miss this area, which has, you know, some fun things for kids. The floor is that bouncy, squishy type material, and they've got these big books, and the pages do move. So it tells a bit of a story. It's interactive and it's fun for the kids. If you do go into that underwater area, you're gonna come out in this door right here and be greeted by these big statues of some polar bears where you can measure yourself to see how tall you are compared to a polar bear. They do have a lot of fun, interactive kids things here. You can climb through this tunnel. There's an exit out the other way. They've got holes where you can stick your heads up through here. Here's one of those areas you can stick your head up through the hole. Both of my kids are modeling it for you. Here's that same polar bear that we saw from the inside. She's just laying down here. This polar bear exhibit is pretty massive though. Very, very large. You can often see the polar bears throughout the whole exhibit. I've not seen them in any one particular location. So just keep an eye out for them. Sometimes you'll see them over here. Sometimes you'll see them up there. Or you'll see them where we saw them, just way down there. Some more animals that are easy to miss here at the zoo. We have some reindeer off here to our right. And the reindeer are often up there. But at quick glance, because they're always up there. They're never like down here. They're almost always up on the hill. And if you miss them, we do have some reindeer here at the San Diego Zoo. This next path diverges a little bit. You can go off to the right, but there's nothing over that way. Here to our left, though, is an aviary that we're going to go through. I don't like aviaries, but there are lots and lots of ducks in this aviary. So it's one of the safer ones, in my opinion. Now we're inside the aviary. It's not a very big aviary. And like I said, it's mostly for ducks. Here they are over here to our left. As we exit the aviary, we have Tundra Treats off here to the left. This place is frequently closed. I have seen it open on occasion, but don't anticipate being able to get a snack there as easily as some of the other locations. The exit for the Polar Bear Plunge area is right where we entered it. See, there's Polar Bear Plunge at the entrance. Now we're at the exit, and we're going to continue our way down this hill. Here's another viewing area for the zebra. In fact, this may be considered the main viewing area. We are once again greeted by a fork in the road. Now, either way you go, you will miss some animals unless you double back. We're actually going to head to the left, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. But we're going up towards the eagles. This is where you're going to find all the big birds. And no, we're not talking about the yellow one from Sesame Street. First up is the Steller's sea eagle. Now, if you can see any of the eagles in this exhibit, you should stop and take note because these guys are really hard to see. This path is a bit of an uphill hike, so keep that in mind. If you're going downhill and you don't want to walk uphill, that lower path is going to be ideal for you. Now, why did I say we were taking the upper path to begin with? Well, because I can see the lower path from up here, so I can point it out to you. They mostly just have birds and other things down there. Pelicans, I see some more flamingos. Those sorts of birds are going to be available down in these two areas at the bottom of the hill. Behind me is the ornate hawk eagle, but at a quick glance, I don't see him anywhere. The next one is the Andean condor. Now this guy's usually a little bit easier to see. We have one there down on the ground, and another, you can see his head poking out of that cave up there. And the final eagle is the harpy eagle. But you see how well he blends in with his surroundings. The harpy eagle. The Eagle Trail leads right into the Asian leopards entrance. Now, if you did take the lower path, you can still get up here from this path. In fact, there is nothing down that path except for just a walkway up to Hua Mei Cafe. So we're going to come in here so that we can see the Asian leopards next. Right over here off to the right is where you're going to find a snow leopard. He's not currently in there, at least that I can see. I have seen him in there plenty of times. But if we keep going, there's more snow leopard viewing up here. We might be able to see him over here.
It's not a jaguar, actually. It looks like it's a...
We didn't actually get to see the snow leopard today. That's pretty disappointing, but he's often there, more often than not. Now we're gonna go see the other panda. The regular pandas are gone. The actual like Chinese pandas, they've gone back to China. So they're not here at the San Diego Zoo anymore. Before we get to the red pandas though, we have the takin, and he's just up there taking a snooze. Here's what he looks like though. So we have a mountain viper here. He's hanging out in this tree. We can see those red pandas over here to our left. Oh, there he is. He's hanging out on the rock.
Oh, yes.
Look at him, Benjamin.
I see walking.
The exit for the Asian leopards and the red pandas spits us out at the pagoda, which is yet again another snack area. But if you want some actual food, let's spin left here and head up this way. Here is the panda shop. The panda shop. Looks like we've got some red pandas that you can get in plushie style, as well as the snow leopards. Just a small little shop, but when you come out of it, we find the Hua Mei Cafe. They've got bulgogi pork belly, teriyaki chicken, orange chicken, sriracha tofu, pineapple teriyaki chicken sandwich, bourbon bacon cheeseburger, sriracha cheeseburger, and chicken strips, plus a whole bunch more. Right in front of us is the Hua Mei Cafe. You can see the bridge there that we showed you earlier and the elevator. Directly behind us is a trail that if you walk up it, it'll take you towards the sun bears and some monkeys and things like that. But it is a very steep uphill journey that my family doesn't like to go on all that often. But we will today for this tour, just not right now. The other path is directly over this way, and in that little cave is the other half of Africa Rocks. We showed you the beginning portion of it. This is the end. Now we're gonna go through there and we're gonna work our way up the hill. It's also worth mentioning that Hua Mei has an ice cream area too. This area is probably one of the coolest in the San Diego Zoo. We have this gigantic fish tank, and you can enjoy fishes, sharks, as well as occasionally penguins, because the penguins can jump down into here and go swimming as well. If you don't get to see penguins swimming around in the water under there, you can find them out here. The Rocks Box is another snack location here at the zoo. They've got a few tables, but they also have this stage up here. They have an animal counter here at 12 o'clock, but also at special times of the year, they do the Dr. Zoolittle presentation, which has some animal educational information, as well as some gags and things that they do here. That's during like Halloween, Christmas, things like that. Dun, 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 dun. Behold the eighth wonder of the world, the backside of water. Woo! O2A. Well, that was fun. I have to do that every time. Sorry folks, if you're new to my channel and this is the first video, now is a great time to tell you to hit the subscribe button. First up past the waterfall are the lemurs. We have some ring-tailed lemurs, some red-collared lemurs, blue-eyed black lemurs, red-ruffed lemurs, all sorts of lemurs in here. If you're lucky, you'll get to see the fossa over here. I haven't seen him out the last couple of times I've been by here though. Here we have the woodland aviary made possible by the estate of Doherty V. Morial. We're not actually gonna go in there. I don't like aviaries. I like to wear hats because, you know, they provide shade anyway. I specifically like this hat because I love Star Wars. But I also wear hats when I come to the zoo because they're a nice protection against birds when you go into aviaries, because sometimes the aviaries are unavoidable. Those ones are completely avoidable and we're not going in them. This is another leopard habitat. We saw a leopard real up nice and close in the Asian leopard walk, but this guy likes to stay up here and he's sometimes very difficult to see because of that. And we also come to the upper entrance to that same aviary that we passed before. This right here is a gigantic viewing area, and they have lots of these viewing areas for the different monkeys, baboons, and that sort. It's a beautiful day today, isn't it? Gorgeous day to be at the zoo. At this point, we have caught back up with that fork in the road where we went north towards Elephant Odyssey last time. The path behind us goes back towards Africa Rocks. And if we head off to our right here, we're going to eventually end up at that Australian Outback area with the koalas. We're going to pass through all of this and catch back up with you when we get back to the entrance of the park, because this just wraps around to there again, and I want that to be a point of reference for you. So let's hop there now. And we are back at the entrance, which is right behind me. So now we're going to swing this direction. You remember at the very, very beginning, I showed you the stroller renter right over there. Here is a stage area, and this stage is used during those special events like Halloween and Christmas. They have a photo spot that if you get photos throughout your time here at the zoo, like they were handing out photo cards at the Giraffe Feeding, you'll pick those up here at Front Street Photo. Across the way is a path that we're going to take a little bit later. We're not going to take it right now. Zootique and the San Diego Zoo Kids Store are both right here. Now this is the exit to the zoo, right next to the entrance. And Zootique is one of the largest gift shops for adult type clothing and adult souvenirs. Now a special thing about the kids store is this sweets and treats shop. Now, they do have kids clothing, stuffies, and things like that in here, but they also have this Nestle cookie. You can get fudge, cookies, you can get coffee, those sorts of things right here at the sweet shop. In fact, here's my family right next to this. Come in for fresh made fudge. There's some locker rentals back there as well if you want to rent a locker to put your things. The reptile house, which we'll catch in just a little bit, they also have these things that you can purchase, art with your name or with your family's name. Hello. Face paint, henna tattoos, a little street shop. Right across from that is the Front Street Sweet Shack, where you can get some specialty desserts. Kettle corn. Over to our right, they also have an ATM. And we have now found the other Skyfari station, which also has a cocktail bar right here in the center. Denny Sanford Wildlife Explorers Basecamp is the newest area, and we're going in there in just a minute. But we need to turn off to the right here first and head to two areas that are part of the recent expansion: Kenneth C. Griffin Komodo Kingdom and the William E. Cole Family Hummingbird Habitat. There are 3 different windows in here, one over there, one behind me here, and one further in the back. Now, there's only 2 Komodos in here, and they keep them on the left and the right exhibits. And then in the back is where they put them if they're mating and that sort of thing. But otherwise, they keep them separate in these 2 left and right side windows. Right across from Komodo Kingdom is the Hummingbird Habitat. So we came over here and popped right in here. There are all sorts of birds in here, not just hummingbirds. In fact, there's only 3 types of hummingbirds in here. We have the emerald hummingbird, Costa's hummingbird, and Anna's hummingbird. The rest are different types of birds. Here we have some yellow birds up here. At least they're being a bit more stationary than the bluebird. I can't seem to catch the bluebird. As I've mentioned earlier, Wildlife Explorers Basecamp is the newest area of the San Diego Zoo. Just opened about a month ago as of the time of this filming. And this is the completely remodeled and renovated Children's Zoo. Now, don't let that name dissuade you. It used to be the Children's Zoo. Now it is for everybody. There are still loads of fun things for kids in here, but people of all ages will enjoy spineless marvels. They'll enjoy cool critters, which is way over that way. And we have the Busy Bee Cafe, which was open a little bit beforehand. Busy Bee Cafe is up that way. They have a lot of local honey-sourced food items like honey buns and pizza. And I know pizza's not honey, but I just mean that's what they have up there at the Busy Bee Cafe. And this is the sitting area for that Busy Bee Cafe. Now it's time to go in Spineless Marvels. This area is massive, and if you want to see a tour of the whole thing, I'm going to go ahead and link to another video at this time where we spend a little bit more time at each of the animals in here. We're just going to show you the general layout of the spaces in here and maybe one or two of the animals in each area, but not all of them. You are immediately greeted to this springtime look as you walk in here with a fun videos type ceiling. And there are all sorts of insect exhibits through here. Of course, it's spineless marvels, so we are talking about insects. Each and every one of these little windows has many, many bugs to see. The area continues on. They have a window where you can see an observation deck if they're, working with different animals or insects. They have this fun screen where you have to save the ecosystem by building plants as bugs and insects attack it or pollinate them and different things like that. And over here is a bug wall where they have different things in microscopes, and you can move the microscope around and you can see like wings and bugs up close from the microscope. Each and every one of these buildings has a primary exhibit, and this one is the honeybee. You can see loads and loads of these bees.
We have to go. Yeah.
Such a huge educational and awesome exhibit. Once we exit Spineless Marvels, we come to this little area. I think there are some monkeys in here. Looks like this is what we're looking at. These animals. This is like a little pathway that connects Spineless Marvels with Cool Critters. Now, each of these locations has an upstairs and a downstairs. So there's an entrance to the downstairs over there for Spineless Marvels, and beneath us, there's an entrance for Cool Critters as well. Just as with the previous room, we're not going to be able to look at everything that is in here, but know that this is the reptile room. And as you see, there's a big snake skeleton right there. They also have the microscope, same sort of interactive exhibit in here. They also have an observation room. They've got some skeletons right up here at the front. You can see the different skeletons for the different types of animals. Once we exit Cool Critters, we have this stage to the right, which is where they do some animal encounters. Whenever I was here last, they brought out a binturong, which is a bear cat, and he was walking across and eating vegetables because that's what he likes to eat, and they were talking about him here at this stage. Now, probably the best feature if you have children is this right here. It is a huge, gigantic playground with a bunch of water features, especially for coming here through the summer months. They've got all sorts of fun water play areas down there. This rope bridge that you can go across. They've got a rope tunnel that you can climb up. Lots and lots of fun goes on down here in the Wildlife Explorers Basecamp. We are on the downstairs portion now, and this is a fennec fox over here. We saw a fennec fox in the urban jungle. We've got another one here in Wildlife Explorers Basecamp. We're heading towards the bottom half of Jake's Cool Critters now. They do have some animals, alligators and things like that in this water pool sort of area. There are fewer exhibits in this downstairs portion, but they have an interactive table like they did over at Spineless Marvels. This here is a set of stairs that goes up to the upper portion of Spineless Marvels. And then here is the lower viewing areas from those animals that we saw up top. The main exhibit here in the lower half are these ants. Now they have ant tunnels or ant holes. You can get up nice and close to these and you can actually see the ants. But they also have this naked mole rat display that is also worth checking out. If you do not like spiders, this lower portion is not going to be for you. We're not going to get up any closer to them than we are, but a lot of these exhibits, especially through here, have spiders and scorpions. And then over here are some orb weavers that aren't even behind any glass. Leaving that area, we find more fun kids stuff. A rope climb. We have these rock wall type nubs for going up. Really, really good fun to be able to do that. They even have this trail over here. In fact, the only way to get up there is to go up this path. We are leaving Wildlife Explorers Base Camp. There's only one way in and one way out of that area. It doesn't connect anywhere else to the zoo. So we go in that way and we come out. We chose not to start over there because we wanted it to be warmer. It was only a high of 72 degrees today and our kids wanted to play in the water. We're back here at the Front Street Sweet Shack, and if we go directly across, we come to the Clobbershaw Reptile House. Now we're gonna go in here, and again, just with all the others, we can't look at absolutely everything, but I want you to see that this is an absolutely massive area with walls and walls of lizards, reptiles, and snakes, things like that. It goes both directions, and this whole area is one giant square with walls and walls of prehensile-tailed skinks, West African green mambas, pancake tortoise, woma, Gray's monitor, and of course the granddaddy of them all, the green anaconda.
Yeah.
At the complete opposite side of the building is where we came in, is another exit. There's two exhibits here to the left and right. And in here you'll be able to see various kinds of turtles. That trail leads us straight to the Reptile Walk. If you haven't been able to tell yet by how much we have showed you, this zoo is huge. It is an awesome zoo, and there's a reason why it's pricier than a lot of other zoos, but it is massive. You can spend all day here, and I absolutely love the San Diego Zoo. Here's the amphibians. We have poison dart frogs and salamanders and tomato frogs on the left. The path comes out here, and the trails continue looping this way, so we're gonna turn over here. On our right is a Chinese alligator. Now we're going into the turtles exhibit.
That's what I call cute. And that's what I call cutest.
They've got many different types of turtles that you can see through here, all of them nice and up close next to the glass. This is almost the end of the path. This is another one of those where you come down and you loop back up, and there's, one way in and one way out sort of a thing. There's some more turtles and another alligator, actually a couple of alligators down here. That was the end of the path. Now we're looping our way back upwards, and we get to pass by a variety of tortoises. We have a brown tortoise over here off to our right, which is right back in there. This is the African spurred tortoise. But the main attraction of our turtle exhibit here are these giant land tortoises. These guys are really, really big. There's a bunch of them there in the back, and they all just look like giant rocks. I mean, those are big, huge boulders in their exhibit, and they kind of blend right in with it. Don't just pass by these middle exhibits here, though. In here we have a black-throated monitor. You may not be able to see whatever's in here, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't look. You don't have to go back through the reptile house in order to get out of this area. You can come to this path that goes off to the left, and there's nothing back here. It'll just loop you up around towards Front Street again. If you are still watching, I don't know how many minutes into the video it is at this point. I'm gonna guess 40-ish minutes. You are a major trooper. Let me know down in the comments by answering this question. What is the favorite animal of all the animals you've seen so far in this video? What's your favorite animal? Comment down below, and I'll know that you watched all the way up to this point. Here we go, and we're back at Front Street. We're gonna turn to the left, and we're gonna continue on our tour going down the Tiger Trail. If you remember, we pointed out this area just a little bit ago, the Safari Kitchen. This area also has, mostly burgers and things. Let's pop in and see. Bacon cheeseburger, chicken bacon club, black bean veggie burger, honey sriracha, chicken sandwich, those sorts of things are here. They also have jungle java, which gives you some coffee options right here too. And if we go this way, we'll be able to go and see a whole bunch of animals. We're gonna eventually work our way to the tiger trail. This is currently the monkey trail. This area that we're entering right now is also known as the Lost Forest. Now they call it the Lost Forest because there are literally dozens of trails through here, and without a map, you really could get quite lost. There are also way too many trails in here for us to show you every inch of the Lost Forest, but know that this path in general will allow you to see monkeys, hippos, tigers, okapis, river hogs, gorillas, bonobos. Those sorts of things are back here in the Lost Forest area. In addition to monkeys, they also have a lot of different birds. There's a sign with at least 11 different types of birds in this cage alone. As you continue on, you'll be able to see more and more birds. Now, this is where the path divides. If you head to the left, you're going to go toward the tigers and the hippos. And if you go towards the right, you go towards the gorillas. We want to go to the tigers and hippos right now, so we're actually going to go down this path. This path will actually take us down into the aviary. Here is the Scripps Aviary. You cannot skip this if you're walking down this path. Rule of thumb with any aviary that you go into, pay attention to the ground. If you see white spots, avoid them. We have some more birds for you. Now we're outside the aviary now. We did see the bonobo exhibit here. There's no bonobos over here at the moment. What is a bonobo, you ask? Well, it is this type of animal. It's basically like a gorilla, but it's not a gorilla. You can look for bonobos more over that way. I went and didn't see them. That's the viewing area we just were at. Now here's a path that we're gonna go down towards the tiger trail. Again, lots and lots of twisty turns in here. Very easy to get turned around and get lost. Now we come to the lower viewing area of the same Scripps Aviary. There is a way to bypass this aviary, but strollers, wheelchairs, and things will need to go in this direction. It looks like the waterfall is not going. It's my favorite part of this lower portion of the aviary. There'd be a waterfall right there. They don't currently have it running. This here is the upper portion of the tiger trail. In fact, there's two of them down there. Yeah, they're down there cuddling together. You can see that there is an observation window down there where they're at. There's also another observation trail over that way. Sometimes you can see those tigers up here. This is a good spot to be able to see them. But they are down there in that lower window. I'll show you how to get there from this path in just a minute. Here's those stairs that help you bypass the aviary. And now we're on yet another steep hill, this time going downhill. This split right here, if you were to turn left, would actually take you towards that lower observation deck for the tigers. It's going to be up that way through the tropical rainforest. We're not going to go through there. That is its own separate path with its own separate entrance into the Lost Forest. We didn't even touch the piece of strip that goes through. Now, we're going to head back down this path. We're going to have the okapi over here off to the right. He's way in the back at the moment. That tends to be where he hangs out. There's also some black duiker in here, if I'm pronouncing that right. Could be duiker. But you can see the okapi butt back there. Those stripes, that's him right there. This pool where people are congregating here is the top observation area for the hippo pool. But you're better off just going straight down, avoiding the top observation because they're almost always underwater. So the underwater viewing is down this direction. So this is the lower area of the hippo pool. Good rule of thumb, as with anything here at the zoo, wherever people are congregating, that is where the animal is. So that means that the hippo is over here. You can see his head above the water here. Just past the hippos is another small store, almost too small to really bother going into. And then they have some snacks over here off to the right. We've got an icy machine, Mr. Icy. I love ices. We have some soft pretzels, souvenir sippers, beers, margaritas, things like that. Frozen margaritas, I see. And also more monkeys. This exhibit over here off to our right and our left, actually. There's some monkeys right there. And we actually also have a bird of paradise. This right here is the exit to the Tiger Trail. You see a sign here for the Lost Forest, Tigers, Hippos, Okapi. We're actually in the Asian Passage at this point. This is where we saw the snow leopard, or would have seen the snow leopard. It's also where Hua Mei Cafe is. You can see the bridge up there. So we're back down here in the center portion of the park. Now that we are back at Hua Mei Cafe, we're actually gonna zip around and go up the Sun Bear Forest.
Sun bear.
That black monkey was the black mangabey. There are lots more animals on this trail than just sun bears. The sun bear is kind of further along in the path to build up the anticipation, but there are lots of monkeys through here too. This path is a long, twisty-turny, uphill path. So if you are towards the end of your visit, you're gonna be like, oh, why did I decide to come here? I should have taken the elevator. Oh, that's exactly what my mom did. I'm the only one doing this. My mom and my wife and my kids are all taking the elevator as I finish up the tour for you. Now we're at the main portion for the Sun Bear Forest. Whether we can see the sun bear himself or not, I'm not sure. I didn't see him. Here's the bears that we have here. Black bears, polar bears, sloth bears. Used to have a giant panda. The Sun Bear Forest spits you out here on a path that's going to take you directly up to Sydney's. And there are more bears over here to our left as we walk up this path. There's supposed to be an Andean bear in here. And I'm striking out on seeing bears today. Oh, I see him. He's the black blob there up on top of that ledge. Here is, oh, another Andean bear. That one is easier to see up on top of his little tree house there, right in the direction of the fan. He's getting some wind. And this exhibit is an eye-eye. Well, there's a sign over here that says, "Where's the eye-eye?" Because they're nocturnal, eye-eyes are hard to find. So we might not be able to see them. In fact, we didn't. Another bear exhibit here. This one's the North American grizzly bear. I feel like I haven't seen the grizzly out in a while. This is also the grizzlies exhibit. The Grizzly Boys from Idaho meet Scout and Montana. This animal is temporarily off exhibit. We're just striking out on the bear path. Not seeing any bear path. It says we're improving this habitat. We got to see the Andean bear lazing about, but that was it. Didn't see the grizzlies, didn't see the sun bear. I've seen them in the past. It's hit or miss what you see on any given day, depending on the weather, whether they're off exhibit, those sorts of things. So keep that in mind. Your experience is going to differ. My experience the next time I come to the zoo is going to differ. That's why we have annual passes, because every time we come, our experience is totally different. Once you get back up here to Sydney's, you can head that way towards Africa Rocks or Urban Jungle. But since we've already done all of that, the only way to go is this way through the Australian Outback to get back to the front of the park. Well, here we are back at the front of the park. We have one last area to go in our tour today, and that is directly across here. You see the entrance to that bus tour. And look, I caught up with my family. We're gonna head back down this path, or I am. Looks like they're going somewhere else. We're gonna head down this path and go see the gorillas and the orangutans. First up are the orangutans. Now you could also take another entrance to the monkey trail over here off to the left. Remember I said the Lost Forest has way too many paths for us to cover, but we can go over here to the orangutans. This is the silvered leaf langer. We're gonna see him before we see the orangutan. These are quite fun monkeys. I always like to watch these guys. They're very active. And this is their habitat. They're often climbing, swinging, playing around. Looks like they have some black monkeys in here, but it looks like the orangutans are off exhibit. I'm not quite sure what those black monkeys are, but there are definitely no orangutans in here today. enjoy some footage from the last time that I saw the orangutans here, just like a month ago.
Get ready. He's going to start. He will start. You got to blanket with him. I think nap down here. Step. Oh, you got to hang with your brother.
I don't think he needs a blanket today. It's pretty warm. Or maybe he's using that for shade. Oh, he just completely covered up. There is another aviary right here past the orangutans, the Parker Aviary. This is different from the Scripps Aviary. And again, I don't really want to go in there, but I guess we will for you guys. This aviary is quite busy. Quite busy. But it's not very long, thankfully. We're just going to try to get through it as quickly as possible without getting my hat pooped on. There is more aviaries off to the right. That one we are not going to go to. But to go see the gorillas, we have to go this way. We also have Albert's restaurant down this way, as well as Treetop Cafe. Our first peek of the gorillas is going to be right here, and it looks like they're probably, oh, there's one peeing. The things you see when you come to the zoo, folks. Yes, I'm going to put it in the video. Right here is the Treetops Cafe. Albert's restaurant is further down that way, a couple of levels below. Albert's restaurant is like a sit-down restaurant that you have to make a reservation for. Treetops Cafe here, it's like a quick service, just like any other restaurant here. Same sort of affair as you would expect from most places. Below is Hua Mei Cafe there with the red roof and all of those tents. Here's the bridge, the Skyfari. Over on this side is the Asian Passage with the leopards. We see the Eagle Trail over there in the distance. This is just, you know, it's an amazing view. I can never get enough of this view, so be sure to come on this bridge just to soak in the vista. Right at the entrance of the Treetop Cafe, though, if we go this way instead, we're going to see those gorillas. There are a lot of different viewing areas for the gorillas. There's that gorilla that we spied earlier. He's lounging around now. Don't miss these waterfalls. This path continues on, though. There's a lot of different spots where you can see some gorillas, but the main one is up here. So it doesn't look like there are any here today, except for the one down there. But this up close glass area is where I often see them sitting right here up against the glass. You can get some really good pictures. But looks like they're all down there today, which is why we saw the people congregating that way. Now we're just going to be working our way in reverse, going back up that path towards the front of the park to get to the exit. Because we went in the Parker Aviary, I almost forgot to show you Zoo Brew, organic coffee and craft beer right here by the orangutans. And you can see the Parker Aviary entrance there in the back. This is a small gift shop where you can also get coffee as well. Whew, well, I am exhausted. There's nothing left to do but go to the front of the park and go out the exit. We have gone down every single trail and path without going too minutiae down some of the aviaries and lost forests, of course, but we've covered all the major exhibits, passed by all the food places. We even passed by Mowgli's 4D adventure. Lots and lots of things that we showed you here at the San Diego Zoo, including the all-new Wildlife Explorers Basecamp. If you want to see more tours of Southern California attractions, check out this video where I went to the SeaWorld San Diego and showed you all of the animals, shows, and rides that are available there. We'll see you again next time.